Well, praise the Most High today, family. We say hallelujah and praise the highest Yahuwah today. The Most High Elohim. Hallelujah. Family, the Most High is so good to us. He's allowed us to see this day. Another day in the land of the living. Hallelujah. And with that comes the opportunity to say praise the Most High. To lift up his name. To glorify him for all he has done for us. And I do understand a lot of folks don't recognize all that he's done for them. See, somebody like me, family, he's taking me down through there. So I don't have no excuse. None. I see his hand at work in my life daily. Daily. And without him, I would be nothing. Matter of fact, without him, I wouldn't be here. And I always love the opportunity to share my testimony concerning these little markings I have on my chest, and concerning the loss of toes I have on my feet, on my foot. It's because the Most High had to baptize me. He had to take me down through there. I had to have 2 open heart surgeries to replace that same heart valve, but yet and still I'm here. Yet and still I'm here singing praises to the Most High, Yahuwah, for giving me the opportunity to be here. And this is why I'm so passionate about his word and about what he called me to do. So I can't speak for nobody else, family. I can only speak for Robert and what he demands me to do. It's no asking, no pleading. No, it's either you do or you die. And I understand that now. I comprehend. I don't have that excuse no more. Me no comprende. No, I ain't gonna cuss. I ain't gonna say nigga, you comprende. I ain't gonna say negro, you comprende. I'm gonna say I got it now. See, once the Most High take you down through there so many times, family, so much. And he's showing you, okay, you're running out of time. Who is that, KC? Time is slipping away from me. Yes, it is. And a whole lot of folks. But they just don't want it. They refuse it. They say, nah, I don't want it. I'd rather do something else. I'd rather do my own thing. And that's what we're talking about today. And it's sad, but it's true. Our idea is called My People Perish for the Doctrines of Demons. My people perish for the doctrines of demons. So it's a trade-off. They say, I'd rather have the doctrines of devils and the doctrines of men than the truth of the Most High. So in turn, they're going to perish. And let's look at some script. In Matthew 15:8-9, these people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me, and in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men, or teaching as the truth the doctrines of men, the commandments of men. See, this is what they say you gotta do, you can do, you can't do, you shouldn't do, you should do. And now the whole sum of the law is do as you wilt. Just don't follow the commandments of the Most High. Do anything else but follow his commandments. And it's sad, but it's true. That's why the text says they draw near me with their mouth, but their hearts are far from him. And 2 Timothy 4:3-4 explains it all. For the time will come, or we could say the time is now, that they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers and they will turn their ears away from the true doctrine, and be turned aside to fables, the doctrines of men, the doctrines of devils, the doctrines of demons. No, I don't want to hear what the Most High has to say. It cramps my style. It cramps my style. I can't get off like I want to. I can't do them things I want to in the dark and then come to church and feel good about it. Unless I got me a good pastor or bishop that's gonna lie to me and tell me it's okay. No one's perfect. Just come up here, let me slap some holy oil on your head, and it'll be all right. I'll forgive you. But the whole point to that is the Most High is not forgiving you. And why is it, family? Their own desires. That's it right there in a nutshell. Their own desires, the lust of their flesh. And Hosea 4:6-9 puts a little more on it. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also will reject you from being a priest for me. So there's no knowledge that can be taught. There's no knowledge that's being taught. No, it's just that the knowledge of the Most High's word, they're rejecting. And they're taking on what they want to hear. Because you have forgotten the law of Yahuwah. They don't think about it. I also will forget your children, the next generation, and the generation after that, if there is one in your household. The more they increased, the more they sinned against me. I will change their glory to shame into shame. They eat up the sin of my people. They set their heart on their iniquity. Yeah, these so-called priests, these so-called teachers, so-called bishops, so-called pastors, yeah, they're eating up the Most High's children's sin. And remember, these are the Most High's children that you're playing games with. But they eat it up because that's how they get paid. Just as we said in the prior verse, they heap up for themselves teachers. What does heap up mean? Yeah, you pay them. You stack them up. You make sure they have that house, that car, that 401k for their future. But you have no future. This text emphasizes the importance of seeking knowledge of Yahuwah's word, obeying his command, and living according to his will to avoid local and national destruction. But we know we already being destroyed as a nation. We already know that. But now the Most High is reawakening us. Those dry bones, he's causing us to waken up, to be reborn, to be refreshed. But our people don't want it. The text speaks of destruction or ruin due to their disobedience and lack of understanding of Yahuwah's will. Lack of knowledge specifically refers to Yahuwah's word. While knowledge can be used in a broader sense, in this context it refers to the lack of knowledge and understanding of Yahuwah's laws, teachings, and covenant. We can't say his laws, statutes, and commands. Rejecting Yahuwah's knowledge leads to Yahuwah's rejection. The consequence of ignoring Yahuwah's word is that Yahuwah will also reject them as their priest. What does this mean? He's going to reject us as his priests. As a people of whole, he called us to be kings and priests before him and for him in this world system. We're king and priest to somebody, and it's not just to ourselves. We're all called to be lights of the world, the city that sits on the hill. Like the text says, a light unto the Gentiles. other nations. The priests are also criticized for their failure to teach Yahuwah's law and guide the people correctly, leading to the people's decline and destruction. And it's just what we just said. See, the Most High is not only about Yasharal, but he's about the whole world system. He's turning it over back to his kingdom so he can get the full glory out of it. But he needs an example. He needs somebody willing to say, nope, I'm not going to follow that mess. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to follow the Most High's word, his laws, his statutes, his commands, to the best of my ability, and be an example to not only my people, but to the entire world of how we're supposed to live and how he treats his people that are upright, that are listening, that are obedient to him. We see there in 1 Timothy 4:1-3. It's called the great apostasy, or falling away. Now the Ruach expressly says that in latter times, or we can't say in these times, some will depart from the belief, giving heed to deceiving Ruachs and doctrines of demons. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their own consciences seared with a hot iron. See, these are those lying teachers. They're speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their own consciences seared with a hot iron. So they're lying and deceiving the people because they're listening to the demons who's giving them the information for a price. They say you can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. Yeah. Yo, Hasatan to give you whatever you want if you bow down to him. Just like he offered Yahusha. He said, come on up here on this high place and look over the nations of the world. I give you all this. All you gotta do is bow down to me. You fool. My daddy owned it all already, and he's already given it to me. All it takes is for me to be obedient to him and do what he tells me to do. And 2 Thessalonians 2:9-12 says, even him whose coming is after the working of Hasatan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. So Hasatan got a little power too, huh? Yep, he'll deceive you if you listen. He'll show you some things if you listen. That thing said, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. They don't care about their salvation. Thank you, Pop. Just like I was reminded last evening when I was studying this, how folks would sacrifice their entire eternity for a few years of pleasure. What a silly, hot mess. A few years of pleasure. That's just like you work hard all your life, save and retire, only to get a couple, maybe 10, 15 at the most years in retirement. Some a whole lot less than that. No time to enjoy yourself. You're old and decrepit. Can't really physically enjoy yourself. Get out and do the things you want. No. This is the same thing. You spend these few years here on this earth not investing in your eternity, knowing that there's something after. Oh, everybody know. Everybody know the truth. And they're choosing to say, well, I get it at the end. No, you won't. No, you won't. It doesn't happen that way. See, we want to depend on the Most High and say his love and grace is forever. His mercy and grace is forever. But we'll see in the end if he, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Pop. how we want to spend our whole lives without him. Then right at the end, we want to spend time with him and spend time in his kingdom. No, you want to spend an eternity in his kingdom, but you live like a hellion your whole life. See, this is the testing grounds that we're living in right now. Whether you're worthy or not to enter in his kingdom, and he say, well done. Well done for what, Robert? For them works. For the life you live. For them deeds you done in this body, which the text says you're going to be judged for each and every one of them. Hallelujah. And for this cause, Yahuwah shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Once again, there's the answer. Once again, there's the nail hit, the hammer hitting the nail solidly on the top. Square on the top, we should say. And driving it all the way down into the coffin. Our own pleasures. What we want. We don't care about Yahuwah and his righteous way of doing things. And Romans 1:26 through 32 says it a little bit better. It says, for this reason, Yahuwah gave them up to vile passions. Vile passions. The stuff they can't even mention, that's not even good to mention, that they do in the dark. For even their women exchange the natural use for what is against nature. Likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust for one another. Men with men committing what is shameful and receiving in themselves the penalty of their error which was due. Oh yeah, you're going to pay for what you do. The text says you reap what you sow. Yahuwah is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows. What you put in, you're getting out. You work hard all week, you get a paycheck. And even as they did not like to retain Yahuwah in their knowledge, Yahuwah gave them over to a reprobate or debased mind to do those things which are not fitting. So he said, go ahead, continue as you are. What the text says, those that are evil, let them continue to be evil. Those that are wicked, let them continue to be wicked. However, those that are righteous, let them continue to be righteous. And those that have set themselves apart, let them continue to be set apart from them devils. From all this filthiness, mess, being filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness. They are whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yahuwah. See, that sums it up all right there, family. We don't have to read no more. They just hate their maker. They hate their maker, their creator. How can you hate your maker? Basically, as one text says, asking your parents, why did you make me like this? Why didn't you make me like this, that, the other? So that's what they're saying to the Most High. Why can't I do what I want to do? We all have a free will, a free desire. So it's said, but we really don't. What he gives us the free will and desire to do is to hand it back over to him wholeheartedly. So I don't want this free will. No, I choose to give it back to you. I choose to follow you wholeheartedly. Haters of Yahuwah. Sad shame. Violent, proud, boasters. Inventors of evil things. They don't just do any evil things, family. They invent evil things. Just as the text says, most folks they're not satisfied. They can't go to bed until they do their dose of evil for the day. Disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful, who knowing the righteous judgment of Yahuwah, that those who practice such things are deserving of death, not only do the same, but also approve those who practice them. Yeah, once again, back to them old lying teachers and preachers. They say it's okay. No one's perfect. We can't all get it right all the time. There was only one perfect individual. Sweet Yahusha. That ain't what they call him. Sweet Jesus. He was the only perfect individual that walked this earth. However, he says we're going to do the same works that he did. And he's given us his Ruach HaKadosh to carry it out and to walk in perfection. As long as we're submitted and committed to his voice and say, yes, sir, I bow down to you. I'm not submitted to Hasatan. I submit to the Most High and resist those voices, resist Hasatan, and he got to go. He got to flee. Just as Yahusha said, it is written. It is written. It is written. Hallelujah. And this is one of those high hella days that they're celebrating today, the Doctrines of Demons. This pagan holiday. And all of them, but this is one of the worst ones. But it's up to us to make up our minds what we're going to do. Are we going to put our hope and trust in the Most High or in ourselves? And as we said before, we're investing our everything in just a few years of pleasure, a few years of vileness, looking and feeling dirty all the time. Pardon me, family, when I was out there doing my mess, I felt bad all the time. And the Most High was gracious. He'll give me a little relief every now and again, because I would still go to him. I'm like, Father, I wish I didn't do what I do. I apologize. I hate what I'm doing out here, but I can't stop. Please help me. But still, I wouldn't commit to saying, nope, I'm not going to do it no more. Now help me. See, that's where we get it messed up. We're going to him saying, please help me to continue to do what I do and get over this guilt and keep the ball rolling on, or keep the can kicked on up the highway when I'm still enjoying the pleasures of sin, but I'm hurting your feelings. He like, nah, I'm not going to allow that to continue to happen. Nah. And we see the results of that. This thing go all the way down there to the gut. No, that's not going to continue to happen, Rob. I can't allow you to keep thinking you can walk around thinking it's okay to let me down. I remember. That's old Mary. Can't walk around thinking it's all right to mistreat the Most High and his feelings, to sin against him. Yes, he has feelings. Yes, he's almighty and all powerful, but he is love. He's loving. He's a loving, caring, and forgiving Abba Yahuwah, Father. But he has his limit to where he says, okay, that's enough. They for the streets. They're not going to change. But what about you today, family? What about you? Family, do stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.